to be list up, then you put a different word in Spanish in each box. You will not use all the words because there's more than 24. So pick whichever ones you want. Anything on there is fair game. Now, if you can't find your vocab list, okay, either you did it on a Google Doc or if you did it somewhere else and you need to turn it in, and you turned it in, you can always search on Canvas. So go to assignments. And if you start typing in vocabulario, they'll all pop up and you want to go to 2B. All right. The first word should be la entrada or entrance. Okay. So why don't you take 5 minutes? I'll start my timer here in a second and make sure your bingo board is filled out. Now, listen, if you're at home, I don't know if you're playing along, especially if your camera's off, but just humor me, play along. I'm trying to do some games. I'm trying to do something fun. And so you need to help me out and just make your board and play. All right. So I want to try to be able to do games online, but you got to participate. All right. So please do that.
Wait,
all right, I'm gonna start your 5 minutes now. So if you're done, then go to current lesson and you'll see I linked in the Quizlet code. So you can go there. All right, starting your 5 minutes right now. Okay, so if you just joined us, you are filling in your bingo board real quick so that we can play bingo. It should have been filled in yesterday. So I've given you 5 minutes, which now we're probably down to like 3 minutes. So make sure you are filling this in. If you don't have one, then you have to make one on a piece of paper, draw a square, and it's 5 by 5. And if you're just starting now, you may not get in on our first round today, but still fill it in and keep it. And then you can get in on a second round if we play today or in the next couple of days. All right, make sure you are using the vocab from 2B. It's words about clothing, like how they fit and if they're like bright colored or dark colored, what they're made out of, cotton, silk, that kind of stuff. So make sure you're using the right list. Keep working on that. But I want to switch gears right now and talk about your quiz tomorrow. So you've got a quiz tomorrow over 3 things: los números, ser and a star, and preterite endings. All right. So the first thing I want to start with actually is preterite endings, and I want you to see where you are at. I am only quizzing you tomorrow over AR verbs, AR endings, and then next week we're going to add in ER and IR. So what I would love for you to do real quick before we get started and look at anything is find a place where you can jot down your endings. So if you've got your vocab, your bingo board out or your vocab list, you just need a small little area anywhere that you can just, this is kind of a little self-quiz. See if you know your endings yet. If you don't, we're going to end class with your endings. So you can try again at the end of class. Obviously, you need to know your endings by tomorrow. So find a little spot where you can jot them down. All right, so here's what I want you to jot. AR endings for any regular preterite verb. All right, preterite endings. So by preterite, what do I mean? What tense is preterite? Past tense. Mm-hmm. All right, so see if you can jot them real quick. This is a little check yourself activity. So somewhere, jot them down, anywhere. All right, have you jotted? Before we go over them together, would someone like to get a quick point? So you got to raise your hand, don't just say it, and tell me how many accents should you have on your paper? How many accents should you have? Let's see. Maybe that's just get more points. I have two people in front of me that have loads of points that have their hand up. Anybody else want it real quick? Zoom friends, I feel like you're getting a little behind in your points. Okay, well, Unique, tell us how many accents? 2. All right, so make sure you have 2 before I put them up behind me. See if you know where they go. All right, could I get a volunteer to tell me the first couple forms? Hello, Zoom world. Sorry, let me just wait for them to perk up. There are like 25 of you out there. Surely someone can tell me the first couple forms of the past tense. I got one person. There's 2. Thanks, guys. I'm trying to help you once you get points. The 2 people that are volunteering, by the way, already have more points than any of the rest of you. No pressure. I just started over. I'd be happy to call on them. All right, you can only do so much. All right, Sylvia, give me half of them, and then Reddick, give me the other half.
First one is A, like, yeah, A. Then Aste. Then, oh, shoot. Could I just give the nosotros one?
Sure.
Almost.
Okay. All right, Reddick, can you help me with these?
Yeah, it's O with an apostrophe with an accent, and then Aaron or like Aaron.
Perfect. There's one thing missing. Raise your hand if you see it. And it's not that Sylvia didn't know it. She just didn't say it, so I didn't write it down. Okay, what am I missing, Victoria?
The accent on the E.
Good. Right there. All right, so everybody check that you are either getting these or you're close. And let's make sure we know how to say them. And we're going to practice them a couple times, and then at the end of the period, the last thing I have you do is I'm going to have you jot them down again. So if you didn't get them this time, pay attention. Let's go through it, see if you can get it next time. All right, this is huge. I want you to know this going into your quiz, and then I want you to know this going into next week, so then next week we can add the ER and IRs. All right, so repeat them. A, Aste, O, Amos, Aaron. All right, let's do it together. A, Aste, O, Amos, Aaron. One more time. A, Aste, O, Amos, Aaron. Do it in your head. You got it? All right, let's put a verb with it. Let's do hablar. How would I say I talked? Hable, you talked. Hablaste, he talked. Habló, we talked. Hablamos, and they talked. Hablaron. Okay? All right, so you know if you got those. If you didn't, keep them fresh, look at them, glance at them, and I'm going to have you jot them down one more time at the end of the period. Okay, see if you've got them then. All right, so like I said, there are 3 things on your quiz tomorrow. So I want to make sure we go over some of the things that you've already done to practice this. So if you would go to your current lesson real quick, I want you to look at, sorry, let me get there real quick. It's probably number 2 on there. Yeah, number 3. It says review exit ticket and practica. So these are the 2 practice activities that you have done practicing the 3 things that are on your quiz tomorrow. So I want you to go ahead and click on your exit ticket first. All right, everybody click on your exit ticket 1030. That should take you straight to your exit ticket. And I want you to look over it. I think some of you turn these things in and never look at them again. And some of you might. But obviously, these questions on Sarah and a star, and then I think there's a couple number questions at the end, are good practices for what you will see on your quiz tomorrow. So I want you to look through the answer, and if you missed something, I want you to take note of it. I want you to learn from your mistake. All right? Each of these activities were worth, I don't know, 10 or 15 points, but tomorrow your quiz is probably worth 40 points. So let's not make the same mistakes again. All right, so as you're looking through it, if you have a question, obviously ask me or put it in the chat, and I'm happy to re-explain anything that you would like me to. So take a second, talking about SARE, what it means, when we use it, talking about a star, what it means, when we use it, and then you have to pick between them. Okay, there's a good chance tomorrow that that's what you're gonna have to do. So you need to know when to use it and pick between it. The numbers, if you will recall, the way I said I'm going to quiz you on numbers tomorrow is I will say the number and you will write it down. Okay, so that means you do not need to worry about spelling your numbers. You need to, it'll be a listening activity. You need to be able to recognize them. So I don't need you to spell anything out. If I say the number 125, you got to write out 125. All right, so no spelling of numbers required. Okay. All right, so questions on that activity, that 1030 activity? Anything I can clarify? Sarah and a star? Okay, you sure? 100. 25, 25. Does that make sense? Okay. Are you sure? Questions? When you think of Sarah, you're going to think of things that are what? What's the P word? Permanent. Plus time and date. When you think of a star, the expression is how you feel and where you are. Always use the verb a star. So feelings and location. All right, so now go to the other quiz. If you go back to the homepage, I think it was just from Tuesday. So you did, it wasn't a quiz, but it was a practice. It says Practica Day 11-3. So that was from Tuesday, what you were supposed to do on your day where we didn't meet. And again, look through it. It was a quiz on preterite, your endings, and it was a quiz on, I must have thrown on some Sarah and a star, I think, as well. Huh? No, that was just a practice. I think I gave you 2 chances to do it too, if you needed to. So nope, just another practice, but I'm happy to answer a question. If you missed something, do you need to ask? Ask. We're looking okay? If you missed something, do you understand why? Okay, what number is that? All right, everybody look at number 10 real quick. Okay, number 10 is always tricky. Okay, look at it with me. Maybe you got it right, maybe you got it wrong, but maybe you guessed. So let's not guess tomorrow. Nosotros blank de Michigan. The key word is day. Okay, we are, what's day? From. If you are from Michigan, that never changes, it's permanent. So you would need a form of ser, you would need somos. Okay, if that little word day was in or en, then it would be location and you'd be right with the stamos. So those are so, you got to be so careful on number 10. I'm sure I will give you one that says something day Michigan or a place, and then something will say en Michigan. Got to see the difference. If you're from a place, it's permanent. If you're in a place, it's your location that can. Good question. Anything else? Okay, well then you should have plenty of things to study. You've got notes, you've got those 2 practice activities. Again, I'll have you jot down your verb forms here in about 5 minutes. I want to do one more quick just vocab introduction since we have a few minutes here. And then I also want to remind you to get me any missing work that you have. All right. So let me go ahead and I will just screen share with you the last thing that we're going to look at. If you want to have your vocab handy, it is vocab related. It's kind of a little chapter introduction, but I think now that we've done some work on vocab, you should be able to follow along, pick out the highlights. So they're going to read it to you. And like I said, you just have to follow it along and see what you can understand. So I never expect you to get every single word, but I do expect you to be able to pull out the main idea. So obviously these girls, Andrea and Lupita, are going to be talking about clothes and shopping. And I want you to see if you can follow the general conversation. We will do a listening activity probably with this, but I'm going to run out of time, so not today. So today we're just going to read through it, and then I will be asking you for a participation point to tell me, give me something you understood. All right. So again, you do not have to understand the whole thing, but you should be able to pull out things. Now, all of these words in blue are going to be vocab words. So pay attention to those. Like maybe you remember we said, oh, that looks like exaggerated or outrageous. So again, those are kind of the things that I want you to look for. Let me make sure my sound is on here. All right, here we go.
Hoy es Viernes Negro. Son las 6 de la mañana. Es un poco exagerado estar aquí a esta hora, ¿verdad? En realidad, mi hermana y yo no necesitamos nada. Pero el Viernes Negro es divertido y queremos ver los precios de una tienda en particular. Es una tienda de buena marca y nos encanta su estilo. Normalmente, los precios son tan altos que es imposible comprar allí.
Vocab here.
Los colores vivos, los colores pastel, azul oscuro, azul claro, el número, mediano, la cajera, la caja.
All right, a little more
Mira,
down.
Lupita, una liquidación. El letrero anuncia un descuento del 60%. Es una ganga. ¡Vamos!
Vamos entonces.
¡Qué bonitas blusas!
Sí, pero mira los precios. No puedo gastar $50 en una blusa.
Pero es de seda y está de moda. Puedes pagar con tu tarjeta de crédito.
No, es demasiado caro. Quiero pagar en efectivo y solo tengo $35.
Y aquella blusa es de algodón y solo cuesta $15. ¿Qué te parece?
Me parece buen precio y me gusta el color, pero no encuentro mi talla.
¿Mediana? Aquí hay una mediana.
Gracias. Voy a probarme esta blusa. Esta sí la puedo comprar. La entrada, la salida, en efectivo, bajo, el cheque personal, el cheque de viajero, el cupón de regalo, lana, seda.
Okay, so my hope is that you heard a lot of words that you're sort of familiar with now. Okay, again, you're not an expert on them and you don't understand every single thing here, but hopefully you got a little bit of the gist. So that's what I want to focus on here just for a minute or two. So look back over this first paragraph. All right, I want you to see if you can share something with me that you understand from this first paragraph. So everybody take a minute. Okay, obviously the blue words are vocab, so if you want to look at your vocab, you can. Otherwise, I just need a basic something you can understand. If you are trying at all, every single person in here, should be able to share something from that paragraph. So again, looking to people that haven't participated much today, take a minute. Hoy es viernes negro. Son las 6 de la mañana. All right, go from there. Tell me what's going on. All right. So get your hand up if you can tell me something. Put your little blue hand up if you're on Zoom, or your real hand up if I can see you. And give me something that you can pick out there. Give me something. Dalia.
Are they like at a like store or like it has to deal with clothes? I can tell that.
Totally. Yeah, they're shopping. They're at a store. It's kind of funny. Can anybody give me that first line? Hoy es viernes negro. Anybody know what that is? Unique, what's that? Yeah, it's Black Friday. So they're shopping. They're looking for sales. Good. Can I get one more thing from that? Go ahead, Mutah. They might what? Yeah, I think they do. It says this is a store that has a good brand. So they like this store. They like the style. All right. So then we got some pictures here that hopefully you could follow along. We talked about like light blue and dark blue and bright colors. And then how about, what are they talking about down here? Anybody give me the gist of what's happening, Unique? They're saying, yeah, they're looking at blouses. They're looking at shirts. They're talking about, what's this? If they're talking about seda or algodón, they're talking about what? What it's made of, right? So they're talking about what it's made of. I don't know. And then I guess if they're going to buy it, right? She's looking for a mediana. Somebody on Zoom, tell me, what's she looking for there? She's looking for mitaya mediana. What do you think that is? What's going on out there? Reddick.
Wait, what line were you talking about?
Just kind of down here where she's talking about like, it says mediana. Oh, hay una mediana. Gracias. What were they talking about down there?
Like that, the Lupia line where she's like, no, it's too expensive. I want to pay cash and I only have $35.
Okay, yeah. So that was the expensive shirt. I forget where it is. Is that what the one that was made out of silk, maybe? Yeah. So then they're looking at this one. And then, yeah, that's good. That's all good. What's this last part about? It doesn't have to be you, Reddick. Somebody else. What's that part about? What are they looking for? Mediana? The other options would be un pequeño or una talla grande. Mutah, are you up? No. Unique. Yeah, medium. I thought that would be an easy question. So I wasn't trying to be tricky. Medium. All right. So again, hopefully you kind of pick out the main ideas there. All right. Oh, was that it? Is my time off? Yeah, I mean, you guys get to go early. So the last thing I was going to have you do, not a big deal, is quiz yourself over those preterite verbs. All right. So make sure you can write out those preterites. And hasta mañana. I will see you tomorrow. Be ready for your quiz. Zoom friends, same thing. I was just going to have you write out your preterite endings. So quiz yourself. See if you can do it.